And it looked terrible because what happened was I brought the leg up. I saw her head come up and I was like, I am not gonna make it.
Oh no.
My leg came down and I kind of started throwing my body the other direction at the same time.
Yeah.
So instead of me chopping her head off, thank God I didn't do that.
That's fortunate. Yeah.
I kind of, my leg bounced off and then I rolled on the floor.
Oh, nice.
Did you own the landing though?
Nice. Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode with MackZaddy. Today we have a very special guest, and thank you for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. We have Z from Asia.
Oh yeah.
Singapore. Let's go represent. Thank you for spending time with us, man. Really appreciate it.
I know we've had a massive day today, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Third event.
Yeah,
like
it's my
back to
third
back.
event in a row.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's God, it's been busy. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
It's been great being able to hang out this weekend. It's been fun.
That's right.
We've had so many chats already, like picking your brain and like having your opinions on things, which is awesome. But just like for this episode, we'd love everyone to like get to know you, what you do, and basically what your opinion on things are. If we ask any crazy questions that you can't answer, just say, shut up, guys. What the fuck are you talking about?
I decline to answer.
No, say it, and I'll just censor it in post.
Yeah, maybe.
Trust,
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Oh, man.
We're gonna make a reel of how many times you can say no comment.
No comment.
One of the things, so you're from Singapore, you run 2 events. We got Asia Open and
Spooky Westy Weekend.
yes, awesome
Yeah.
events. I haven't made it to the Spooky, but I've seen the videos. It looks awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We just got, it's our trial year. We just finished our trial year last year.
Okay.
So this year with points.
Got points?
Sick.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah!
That's
I love watching
exciting.
everyone dressed up in like Halloween costumes.
It's
I want to
so
go to
great.
a Halloween event. I've not been to
Yeah, I
an
think
event where I
I've
get to
never
dress up.
Yeah.
God.
We just do it in just normal
a
days.
class.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, that's all right.
Organize your own party. No.
That's it. We got it. Oh, man.
So we're here at Swingvasion. This is Swingvasion 2nd edition in Christchurch. Have you been to New Zealand before for an event?
Wellington.
Oh, sorry, we're not in Christchurch.
Whoa.
Swingvasion in
No comment.
Wellington, guys.
Hey, somewhere in New Zealand, somewhere.
Yeah.
I was just talking to the
Undisclosed.
Christchurch crew outside about Shakedown. So yeah, we're in Wellington for Swingvasion. Have you been to New Zealand for a West Coast Swing event before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to come out to New Zealand quite a lot. I used to be coming out here at least twice a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What were you doing here?
Usually I would get flown in for one workshop weekend and then the New Zealand Open.
Awesome. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, true, that's right.
What
Yeah.
years were they? Like, how long ago?
I think that was up till like 2018, I think maybe.
Yeah, cool.
Damn.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a little while ago.
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm older than I look.
How long have you been dancing for, man? West Coast for?
So I've been dancing West Coast for about 13 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And dancing, you also do other dance styles?
Yeah. So I actually first started dancing about 23 years ago,
Okay.
and it was with salsa.
Hey.
Salsa was like, the in thing then.
Hey.
It was like the social dance.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
23
We're getting
years
lots of
ago.
people from salsa actually at the moment, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So you're a champion in salsa dancing, is that right?
Well, I'm a Asia salsa champion.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yes, I guess you can say that.
Yeah. So champion West Coast Swing, champion salsa. Anything else you want?
I'm a pretty good bachata dancer too.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go. That's awesome.
Oh God, nice.
How'd you go for the, like, I guess I want like a quick rundown of like how you got into everything, like what's your story, I guess, like a quick rundown of anything that you think built you to now.
Ooh, like how I started. Actually, how I started.
How were you born and then raised?
I was
Super
born
loaded
on
question.
November 1st, 19...
We ain't got that much time.
Join the army at this age.
No, so actually, I think how I got into dancing is a pretty funny story because actually I had never had any interest in dancing. Yeah. Never.
Yeah.
So at that point, so when I was like 18, I was actually like fencing for like at a national level.
Cool.
And
Is it fencing?
yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I never had any interest in dancing. And then what happened was my mom actually used to do line dancing,
Cool.
right? And so one of her friends was organizing this like salsa dinner and dance thing. And then to support her friend, she's like, all right, I'm going to buy tickets for the whole family. And so my brother and I were like, I guess we have to go. Yay, joy. Right? And it's not a knock on Latin ballroom, but at that point in time in my head, if like salsa or Latin dance was like, you know, you had to wear like glittery,
Sparkly.
open V-neck
Yeah.
shirts,
Oh,
high-waisted
yes.
pants, you know,
Oh,
like
sexy.
high
shiny.
heel shoes.
Yes. What a man.
The lycra.
Yeah. So when I heard that like it was a salsa night, I was like, no,
God.
why do I want to go for this? But I had to go. Family duty.
Is this before or after the army stuff?
Did before.
Before,
Yeah.
yep.
So when I rocked up, there was actually like a workshop first.
Yep.
And I was very resistant about doing any sort of dancing. I was like, look, I'm here because you just to eat. Okay, you
I'm here
pay
to be
for the
supportive,
tickets.
that's it.
Exactly.
Obligation.
Yeah.
Obligation.
Yeah.
Not a one.
But my mom is a wise woman.
So go mums.
So
Yeah.
she basically went to one of her friends who has a very pretty daughter that was close to my age.
Of course she did.
And then she goes to her friend's daughter and is like, hey, so you know, do you mind asking my son to take the workshop? He actually really wants to do it, but he's shy.
He just doesn't know.
Yeah,
He
but
doesn't
he's
know.
shy.
Yeah.
Right, so I had a very gorgeous like girl come and ask me to do the workshop, and I was, well, I guess I can't say no.
Manipulation. Sexploitation.
So I took the workshop, and actually, it's not like I got sold on the workshop itself. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just do it. But after that, they had the party part, right, where they had people social dancing. And that's where my curiosity was piqued.
Yeah.
Because I saw people dancing. Number one, they were dressed in normal clothes. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that everybody looks pretty fashionable,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Think
People
of
do
cash
dress in-
costume.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
The girls were all in limited attire.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Limited attire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Showing a lot of sequence.
Yes, exactly. The material is limited. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And I was like, oh. And then it really caught me that I was like, I didn't understand what I was seeing because everybody was doing different moves. And then they changed partners after a song. And then I'd be like, we're doing different moves again. And I was like, wait, how
This is
how
not
do you know?
choreographed.
What is this?
Yeah, I was like, how do people know what to
Not
do?
rehearsed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually I started
These
social
people are
dancing.
geniuses. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more because my curiosity was
Piqued.
piqued.
Yeah,
Because
cool.
I just had no clue how this could even happen.
Yeah.
So I started taking salsa classes, and then one thing led to another. A year later, I quit fencing.
A year. You stuck with fencing for a year
Yeah,
while
yeah.
you were getting all of these, all these awesome salsa dances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I dived into salsa, and
Cool.
yeah, before I knew it, I was dancing like 5 or 6 days a week.
How long did you have between
Yeah.
salsa and West Coast? Like when you found West Coast, I heard your story about you saw Jordan and Tut at a salsa,
Salsa
Congress.
Congress?
Yeah.
And then you were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
How long was that period of time before you saw that and then started diving into West Coast?
So I think it was about 10 years of salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's at a 10-year mark. It just so happened I was also like performing and teaching at the Sydney Salsa Congress.
Yeah, cool.
And then they happened to bring in Jordan and Tart that year.
Yes.
And when I went and I saw them do, it wasn't even their show. It was just a tech rehearsal.
Oh my god, that's
We were
amazing.
performing on the same night. So I was at a tech rehearsal and
Yep.
I heard the song. And it's the year that they did How to Save a
I was
Life.
gonna say, was it How to Save a Life?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Did
And I
you
mean,
get
such
to
a
learn
good
that
routine.
routine?
no,
Oh,
I
man.
haven't.
We
That
got to
was
learn that at
so good.
Swingtacular,
Yeah.
and that
We
was
did the retensive.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
How long was it?
You,
How long did
we
you have?
Six hours?
6 hours,
in
yeah.
6 hours.
6 hours. Yeah.
You're like,
it's
no
nuts.
way.
Yeah.
And then they're just so good at teaching as well that you're like, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you perform it?
Well, we had the opportunity
didn't.
to. We didn't because we had our own routine that weekend we were doing. So I
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
wanted to just not have to think about this when we just learned.
One of
it
us got a
also
little
our
bit
own.
stressed out about the other routine. I
It's
was like, fuck our
definitely
routine.
not.
Let's do the John and Tut routine.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it was an awesome experience though. So it was cool.
Yeah.
If you like this content, like, share, subscribe to MackZaddy.
You've got a studio as well in Singapore, Ziggy Feet.
Yep.
So that's your studio.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
So
did you started that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you own the studio? Or is it rental? Rental like
No, it's a rental.
Yeah, rental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did that open?
So I started Ziggy Feet about 6 years ago.
Yep.
Been about 6 years now.
Cool.
But actually, I've been running a studio for much longer.
Okay.
It's just that my first studio, I opened it with a business partner, but the partnership didn't really work out.
Okay.
So we decided to part ways after about, I think, 6 years as well.
Oh, so you've been doing long before,
okay,
yeah.
So I've been actually
So you
like
knew how to
running a dance
build.
studio for around 12 or 13 years.
Cool.
And do you teach just is it just the West Coast swing classes that come out of there, or do you do other stuff as well?
So I used to teach like salsa, bachata, and West Coast swing.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I still teach salsa, bachata, and West Coast swing, but right now I don't teach or dance like full time.
Yeah.
So predominantly now I teach West Coast swing and a bit of bachata.
This is
very
so
little
interesting.
salsa.
Well, we were gonna
Segue.
We've like
This happens a lot, right?
similar. We've been running into this issues now with all of us, like going and like doing a lot of traveling this
Yeah.
year. Is we don't have enough teachers to like
Cover us
function
when we go.
like when we leave, especially like now when
We
like,
have enough teachers. It's just enough like people that also have that extra mile to like you know,
Create the hype and set up,
They
pack
also
down.
building it while you're away
Yeah.
and making it a bigger night and the hype and just creating all of that what we like to create at the place.
Yeah.
I love your scene. Like it's so supportive, energetic,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
just the people at your scene are loving, encouraging, inclusive. All that is what it comes to my mind, and we try to implement that as well at home. But you just said something like you don't like. So you work full time as well.
Yeah.
So what's your job full time?
So I do investment management.
Yeah.
That's why you got the money. Damn, I'm in the wrong industry. I'm in the wrong industry. But like, so
need to
you
invest.
juggling full-time work, running a dance studio, traveling around the world while running a studio and teaching around the world and doing full-time work, using your leave. You just got married.
Yeah.
Like all these things you're juggling. What the fuck? How?
yeah,
Who are you?
So the good thing is that the investment management part, I'm also my own boss. So I'm self-employed.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Awesome.
Okay.
yes,
Makes
so,
it easier.
so it does mean I can work on the road
Cool.
Yeah, that's
a
good.
little
Cool.
bit, a little bit. Yeah.
So you run 2 of your own businesses.
Yes.
That's wow. That's awesome.
Overachiever.
Yeah, we get it, man. We
Bloody
get it.
Asians.
Yeah.
Asians and
Do you
their
play piano as
overachieving.
well? And good at maths.
He's like, no, I play
unfortunately
violin.
No,
You must be good at maths with the investing side.
no, I was good at computer games. That's
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's
That
like
feels very
side
Asian
note,
as
when
well.
I was
Yeah.
a teenager,
Yeah.
I actually represented Singapore in
Oh, stop it.
in this first-person shooter called Quake 2. Okay.
Oh my
That's
god,
amazing.
Of course you did.
That's
Yes.
so, overachiever. There we go,
So
overachiever.
where does the balance come from? Like, how does this all work together? So obviously, so you can work on the road, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Do you do a lot of the events like with Delena, your wife, or how does that work when you travel?
Yeah, so I mean, typically we both try to do as many events together as we
Yeah.
can. And essentially, like, most of the time we can make it work because thankfully Delina is hired at a company that allows her to work remotely. Sometimes, I mean, not all the time, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes. So she doesn't need to take that much leave for the events if she's able to work, you know, the week in between. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, cool.
Who runs the classes when you're away? Or do they go on pause?
No. So we have a team of instructors back home,
Yeah.
and I also have a full-time studio manager.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Full-time studio manager. So like they manage who's hiring out the studio to teach whatever it is.
yeah, and they run the classes, they run the socials, they do all the admin, and they make sure that the studio does not burn down while I am away.
So
Always
that's their
think.
job. Okay, so
Nice.
does that mean you hire
Damage
the
control.
studio like every single day? Like, so you rent it out as it's like, so in Australia you can.
It's a lease.
A lease,
Yeah, it's a
gotcha.
lease,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude.
I'm
That's awesome.
so interested because I always see all of the Singaporean dances and they're always so good.
So good.
What is like
Like
the
dancing
culture?
ninjas.
It's all
Yeah.
really good too. I don't really.
No, but like it's like consistent. Like every, like
I'll
literally
see
every-
new people pop up and it's like,
They're
and like a
already
year
awesome.
later, it's like, there's like been so much improvement. Is there like a big culture around like training or like improvement or like betterment of like dancing?
So I think the model that we run for our dance studio is not. It's quite rare. So our dance studio, we actually operate on a membership-based model. So essentially, what happens is when students come in, they take a trial, and then after that, if they like it, we try and just get them to take a level 1, which is like 4 weeks, a 4-week course. But after the level 1, they do have the option to just go course by course. But we typically try to like sell
The
memberships.
next membership, yeah.
Right?
Whether it's a monthly or a yearly or a
Yeah. So actually, our membership minimum is 6 months.
Okay.
So we do
Oh,
6
cool.
months,
Oh,
12, and 24 months.
sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. We go. We
commitment.
have monthly.
We just got monthly.
Yearly.
Monthly and yearly. There's no in between. It's
I
like
feel
the
like there's so
codes
much
and then the
more.
longevity.
Yeah.
Because
code.
like we got different price points for what depending on what level you're at.
Yes.
So if you're like brand new, you get a little bit
a little bit
less
cheaper.
because
Yeah.
like it's a bit more daunting. So we want to really encourage them to do that.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like there's so many more because there's different price points and stuff. So it's confusing that way.
So you find that way encourages them to like put more training in, or like how does that kind of work?
Absolutely. Because when you've already paid for it,
You
Yeah,
show
yeah,
up.
yeah,
yeah.
You're like, I better
It's
get my
like the
money
money
worth.
it's like a
Spent.
buffet.
Yes.
You know, when people go to a buffet, you always end up overeating.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because you feel like
Starve
I've
yourself
already
beforehand.
paid for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, get
I'm
my
gonna,
money's worth.
you know.
It's like a gym membership.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
still
however,
paying.
I've been donating to my gym for a very long time without using any.
So-
And we use it for
of
3
the
months.
facilities.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, yes, there are some people who kind of like end up not really using their memberships.
Yeah, I'm one of
But
those.
once we get students who to really like fall in love with the dance or get an interest in it, they end up taking a lot of classes.
Yeah.
So like
And
our
then they
students
progress.
Yeah. So actually, right, a lot of our students, the ones that I think that you see that you're like, oh wow, like they progress really fast. They are probably at the studio 4 times a week.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah. Of
Sick.
course.
So what you run hourly classes then I'm guessing, and then socials afterwards, or do you do like so you do 4 socials a week, or do you do 4 classes a
So
week?
we have 2 socials on Tuesday and Saturday. We have a practice session on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
And then we also have about 7 classes or 8 classes a week now.
Damn.
Yeah. And each class is
a lot of
about
things.
1.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you would like,
Yeah.
in the same similar question, like how would you, if you had any like, how did you get to where you are with your studio and the things you've learned along the way, being like a studio owner for what 7 years before you started Ziggy Feet, and then that being
Another 6 years
another
in
6
Ziggy.
whatever years, what like obviously you would have learned a lot coming through that time. To build what you're building now, what are some like advice you would have to like
Anyone who's
structure
building a
the way you're
school or-
structuring?
Yeah.
Zach, take notes. Take notes.
So-
I know I'm writing
Get
this
the
down
notepad
for
out,
me.
baby.
So I kind of always think, my opinion actually is that I feel a lot of dancers, a lot of social dancers especially, we really cheapen ourselves.
Cheap on ourselves in the
Yeah,
sense of
Cheapen.
ourselves.
oh cheap yeah.
Yeah. Like, I see a lot of social dancers, like studios, they like to just cut prices and be like free trials, $5 classes,
Who would
Yeah.
do that?
right?
My
And they're like,
No.
and there's a lot of like learn to dance in like 4 weeks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. And I think it's fine to like market things a certain way just for like the trials.
Get people in.
To just get people in the door. But once people come into the door, the structure that we've taken to the studio is far more similar to what you'd see if you were to enroll in like a course for music. Or you were to enroll in like, okay, a proper course to learn a sport like golf or tennis, right? So for me, I like to look at it as like, look, a dance is a sport. Nobody expects to pick up a golf club and be allowed to walk onto a golf course and play a game.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to first drive a certain distance, pass your handicap test. Like you actually need to even pass a test before you're allowed on a golf course,
Yeah.
right? And
Not
it's
at my
months-
golf course. I work on a golf course.
Yeah, it's months of training before you're even allowed to play.
We're next to a main road. I'm pretty sure I hit it onto the car the other day.
I did golf in high school and I just passed. I
Mate,
was like
I hate
just
golf.
skipping
I hate
over.
golf.
It's
so
and it's like
Yeah.
respecting the level
get
of
it.
like commitment it takes to respect the dance. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
when
push
when
through.
like our syllabus structure is that we have one level 1, which is 4 weeks. So each module is 4 weeks, 1.5 hours.
Okay.
We have one level 1 module, 4 level 2 modules,
Wow.
8 level 3 modules.
So it gets higher and higher.
So
and higher.
our first 3 levels where we teach all the foundational stuff is already 13 months, roughly.
Right.
That way you don't get people thinking that they should be in the higher level just because they've been there for
Exactly.
because they've done a different dance style
Yeah.
or something. It's like you have to go through the motions.
Yeah. And after that, you have level 4, which is, okay, if you've completed all your level 3s, you can do level 4 now. And then level 4 is, the instructors are free to, it's like workshop style. You come up with a topic that you want.
Yeah.
Right? And then our level 5 and level 6, our 2 higher level classes, are audition or invite only.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I guess to add to your impressive resume of things that you do, you're also on the board for World Swing Dance Council.
Hey, let's go.
Yay.
Represent.
Yeah.
Represent.
How did that happen?
How did you get a position on the board? Like, how does that work? Hi, if you're looking for spots, I'm a good representation for Australia. I'm joking. I would be a terrible representation of Australia.
I would like to see it. You know what? I'm vouching for Zach. I want him on the
Yeah,
board.
vote for
I'd
Zach.
all
Vote
be
Zach.
interested to see
We're
how,
campaigning.
How does it work?
quickly
How
you
does it
can
work?
screw it
So
up.
that's the interesting thing. I mean, like, I don't actually know how it even came about. Like, essentially what happened was someone from the board just wrote to me to ask if I'd be interested because the board has a position for like an international director. Previously it was Estelle Bonnet, right? So Estelle was finishing her term. She was stepping down, and there was a spot like open for an international director, and then they basically went through a process on their own of like, okay, guys, nominate names, and then let's vote, and. So I actually have no idea who nominated me, who voted for me.
That's awesome.
All I know is somehow,
You ended up there.
yeah.
So you're now like
Nice.
helping represent like the smaller upcoming countries that I guess are building and probably, I mean, I don't know, I'm not speaking on other countries' behalf, I'm just talking about Australia, I guess. Being so far away from the scene, I feel like you're a little bit luckier in the sense that you're the hub where people travel through to get to other places.
Singaple's a very big
So
hub
like
city
it's
for
a
everything.
middle of like the world where people might stop. But in the sense that we're still like growing the scene as every other country is. But I don't know, there's different struggles. Like America has a very big scene, in my opinion, compared to an Asia or a New Zealand or an Australia and blah, blah, blah.
It's also like we're like only coming into like a second generation now here in like Australia, New Zealand, like Australasia, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously they've had generations and generations of it overseas. So
So you get to represent the small guys.
yeah, the little guys.
The little guys.
Little guys, we're a little bit mighty.
A little but mighty.
So vote for one for Zach. I'm joking. Well, that's very cool. That's very, very cool.
So what is like, I guess like what involvement do you have in terms of what do you do, I guess?
So,
sit there and look
if
pretty and
anyone
do
is
headshots.
listening, right? and
Hopefully
thinks-
people listening to this
I'm like,
If anyone's listening.
I'm like, a lot of people are always asking, like I hear this a lot where people are like, what does the WSDC even do? Do you guys even do anything? And I'm like, we meet a lot.
right.
Like,
Like how often are we talking?
we have like monthly calls, and they also do quarterly in-person meetups, which,
Okay.
those I'm kind of like
Yeah, that's a little
exempted
trickier.
for. I
Yeah.
do it on Zoom.
Right, yeah.
But the board actually meets like every month on Zoom for at least a few hours.
Yep.
And then we have work in between that. And every
good.
quarter the board meets for like almost a whole weekend in person.
That's good.
Yeah, so they actually spend 2 full days.
Discussing all
discussing.
I
things.
appreciate that because it's like they make pretty big decisions for the whole world. So like I'm glad that they spend that much time. You guys spend that much time on it. That's awesome. And I heard you said that there's a term. Like, so how long's the term?
I think it's 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, but
As
what-
in
and
you
you-
have a term that you're on the board for.
And then you
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
leave,
Yeah.
or you say that you want to
I
continue.
think you can choose to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but essentially.
So you don't have to continue being voted on necessarily. It's just like you choose to.
Well, I guess
continue-
unless I screw up really bad.
And then you're fired.
And you're voted off.
Fired.
Oh my gosh. And so, sorry, you might have said this. How long has it been now since like you've been on the board?
I've been I think about 2 years, almost 2 years now.
Ooh, coming up to crunch time.
Is he gonna leave or is he gonna stay?
You got some competition.
Stay tuned.
That's so good. So I asked a question about like how you build your what you've learned and built like from your school. what about your event? Asia Open's coming on. It's 11th
Guys,
year.
just saying.
Asia
just
Open.
saying.
Asia Open.
I wore my shirt
11th
already,
year.
unfortunately,
I know.
but yeah.
We
Not even
timed this
representing.
very badly.
Yeah, didn't get the memo.
Was
That's
this
all right.
year 11 this year?
Yes.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
very cool.
I
Very,
am
very cool.
so excited. I like
pumped.
the last time. Oh, I've only been once, and that was back in 2018.
Yeah.
But it was like
We rode each other. I was
nothing
you were
I
on my
expected.
shoulders
Yeah,
leaning.
yeah,
in.
yeah. You were the arms,
Yeah.
I was the legs. But it was just like
It's always a good time.
such an amazing time. I
energy.
had never danced that much. I was like delirious every single night.
Oh,
I was like, I
100%.
would like leave it. It would be like daytime. I'd be like stumbling to like my hostel. But it was like so cool. And so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
just like
you've expanded. You've gone to 500 people now.
Yes.
Whether you like that or not, I like it.
No, I like it. I like it too. I think this is like a perfect number. If
Yeah.
it can stay at 500 every year, that would be amazing.
And it's sold out this year?
Yes.
Dude, that's a sign it wants to grow. It's sold out already.
Yeah.
It is, but you know the vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like for events, every event has a different identity, right?
Right.
And like I feel like when you're at a big event, where there's over 1,000 people, the focus becomes much more like the dancing is more business-like. You know, everyone's there to dance.
Who are you dancing with?
Yep.
When
Right,
are you
yeah.
dancing with them?
Yeah, it's either the comms and the dancing. So I feel like when the event gets too big, there's very little socializing or very little like it's coziness. You kind of just stay with your group of friends,
Yeah.
and then your focus is like, okay, I'm gonna just dance as much as I can, or
Gotcha.
the comms. So I kind of feel like 500 is about the maximum that we can go to while still retaining something that feels like more cozy.
Your culture
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
like being that social, everyone like is welcoming, and we all like get to know each other. Like I feel like I come to Asia Open and I feel like I'm part of the family.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
a very welcoming vibe.
I feel like we've got that really nice little mood between like Australasia, New Zealand. Like I feel like we're all very kind of similar in that
The Asia
regard, which is
Pacific.
cool. Yeah.
we have the
Asia-Pacific region.
pride of the minorities.
Yes.
When it comes to West Coast swing, we're like
Little guys.
you're like Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and we're just like, well, if we come together,
we can be a slightly larger.
a little bit bigger.
exactly.
we are one,
Yeah.
but we are many.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, yes,
I think Asia Open's like it's still to this day one of my top 5 events I've ever been to.
Only
I love
top
Asia.
5?
Well, I would say top
Oh,
3.
shit.
I would say top 3.
What an
but then I
offense.
feel like I'm.
First thing was your hair.
Exactly.
First thing was your hair. Maddie goes, the first time we see Z, what's going on with your hair, man? It's making me feel
weirding
weird.
me out.
It's weirding
weirding
me
me
out.
me out.
Z's like this for the rest of the day. Like,
I'm like, fuck it.
Just for context, she had like this set style that I've seen like the whole time I've known you, and then all of a sudden it's this, and and I was taken off guard. That's all. I'm not saying it's bad. It looks great.
oh man.
Different.
It just makes her feel weird. It looks great,
just
but
weirds
it
me
makes
out a
her feel
little bit.
weird.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's cool. I aim to make you feel weird. That's what I try to do.
I feel less weirded out today if it makes any.
She's so used to me weirding her out like all the time that she's like, people don't get offended if I like. I don't get offended because I try to do it.
Yeah, as if you need to try.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
No, I actually, to be fair, I remember when I saw you, like, 2 days ago, I did not realize it was you for the first moment. I was like, I don't know this Asian man.
What's the difference? What's happened?
Yeah.
What have you done? Describe what the difference is.
Yeah, let's
for
talk about
everybody.
Z's hair for a
that-
moment.
What'd you do to your hair?
Oh no, I mean,
Have you been working out?
Come on,
What's
let's get to
going
the
on?
real important
yeah,
things.
I've been working out my hair.
Yeah.
Ooh, squeeze it, pump weights. No,
Oh man.
no it's just like it's more like I think I just used to wear my hair always up,
Yeah.
right, and now it's like
Metro.
Down,
They're like
so-
Metro. Metro style.
following the Korean, the
Korean
K-drama
trends.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down,
Yeah.
sweat hair.
Do you have any like just fuck we diverse into some weird shit sometimes, don't we?
This is pretty tame considering.
Yeah,
So
we're doing
it's-
pretty well, I'd say,
Yeah.
all things considered.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just for value for like people obviously getting stuff out of this. Obviously, we're getting a lot of value trying to like pick your brain for us as well. I love your concepts and just like how you think about things and talk about stuff because it's someone else that's not in our community, like in Australia or in New Zealand where we are now. So like, is there stuff? I'm trying to word this right. Words, Zach. I just want to know everything. Hey, like I just want to pick your brain apart. Like you know when you said you take privates and you're like, I want to know your philosophy on why you do this. Like I want to know why do you keep dancing? What motivates you? Like, okay, here's one.
He's getting there.
We're almost there. We're finding
I
it.
just keep talking until I find what I'm actually talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the
Yeah.
question. I'm
You
like,
say enough words.
The
and you
question's
get to
going to be,
something,
we've all had challenges along the way dancing, and you feel like you maybe not even plateau, but if you do plateau, or you feel like you flatline a little bit, and then you grow again, and like you find you might lose passion or focus or drive or motivation or whatever the words you want to use. What are some things, or what has been an experience you've had first that you feel like that's happened to you, and then how have you overcome that, and how? That's a question with words. Zach,
So-
vote one.
So I kind of feel like this sense of like, you know, your enthusiasm, your passion for something kind of like waxes and wanes, right?
Like the stock market.
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of feel like I treat something that I love, like dancing, I treat it like a relationship. So even if you're in a great relationship, every relationship still needs work,
Yep.
right? You need to work at it to keep the relationship strong.
Yep.
And I feel like sometimes people give up on like dance or some other hobby really fast because the first time their enthusiasm wanes, they kind of go like, oh yeah, maybe I've like kind of fallen out of love with it. But they don't realize that it's because when they were new, they put a lot of effort into it. Then they got to a point where they were cruising, and then the effort they put into it dropped. And then when
Yeah.
it waned,
Right.
right, they didn't feel like, oh, maybe if I put some effort into this relationship, it's going to get better.
So it's not necessarily that they didn't like it anymore. It's that because of the effort you've put in, it hasn't grown as much as what.
Correct.
Relative to.
Correct. Right. So usually I feel like when you hit a plateau or when your enthusiasm wanes or something like that, it's because maybe you've hit like some kind of either mental or physical or emotional block, right?
Or you're just satisfied with how you are. You're like, we're doing really well.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't need to, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
Let's not change anything.
Complacency to me is a mental block.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's, we're gonna trademark that shit, put it on a shirt. Complacency is a mental block.
Awesome.
Yeah. So when I think one incident or one period where I was, I guess I can say my most worst period of my dancing that I can remember is there was one period of time where I actually was almost like I don't even want to social dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one period because it was this point where I was still going to events sometimes like as a salsa pro, sometimes as a West Coast swing pro, sometimes as a bachata pro.
Right.
And salsa bachata events, especially in Asia, have a really bad queue culture.
Queue.
Oh,
Like
right,
you queue
yeah,
up
yeah.
for the next dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Uh,
actually
That happened
such
in
a
Singapore
shock.
last year,
Yeah.
Asia Open.
Oh no, that was nothing.
Oh.
I kind of like it because we don't have that. So like I kind of like being, and I still didn't feel pressure like I couldn't walk away.
They were like, no, that's because Asia
when
Open
you
it
do
was
it all
nothing.
the
There were like
time.
3 people in the queue.
Yeah.
When I say
Yeah,
queue culture,
But it's not even like.
I literally mean the entire floor around you
Is lined up.
Is a line,
Oh,
Yeah.
jinkies.
That's pressure.
and every single one is queuing.
That's pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it culminated like the lowest point where I was just like, all right, that's it. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I was at an event in Korea where it was a salsa event, and I danced salsa.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know what salsa is like, imagine dancing fast blues
But we love blues.
for 2.5 hours straight.
We love blues.
god.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Fast blues for 2.5 hours straight. Yeah.
Damn,
I was
that's some
dancing.
cardio.
I was dancing salsa for 2.5 hours straight,
Okay.
and the queue just never ended. Like I would, and this was already with instructions from the organizers that were only dancing 1 minute with each person.
Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
leading by example, what did like top down?
Yeah. So basically, at that point, I was just like, after that, I was so dead. Like halfway through the 2.5 hours, I was almost like, I think I just led the exact same pattern 5 times in a row.
So yours was more like exhaustion from doing so much.
So you wanted to quit because you were so loved and so popular.
No, it's not that. It's, unfortunately,
It's a shit problem to
I
have.
wish it was the
It's
case.
terrible shit.
No, but it's actually dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Because the
Yeah.
problem with the queue culture is that you're not a human being that they ask for a dance, you are expected to dance
You're a
with them.
worker
Yeah.
and this is your job. You
Yes.
need to do
Yeah.
your job, otherwise you're a terrible human being.
Yeah. So there's no like, oh, thank you so much for the dance, or oh, do you want to dance? It's just like, and then if you walk off halfway, people get pissed at you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you literally feel like you're an ATM machine.
Yeah.
People are just like,
Transaction done,
One dance.
complete. Yeah, made some money off that one. Made some
Right.
money. Yeah, thank you for your exchange.
exactly.
Thank you, come again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
Wow.
that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean by it's dehumanizing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so there was this point where I was really like, oh my gosh, I just not even sure if I want to social dance anymore.
And for you to say that is a big thing because I know
Yes,
you
you're a
are a
huge
big
social
social
Yes.
dancer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we love. Like,
Yes.
it's so
All
good.
of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 High up
yeah.
on the list for
Yeah.
sure.
But the thing is, I kind of had to seriously think about it and like, okay, how do I overcome this, right? I was like thinking about it, it's like, okay, look, everyone has a battery,
Yeah.
right? And you need to find some way to make sure that your battery has
Charge.
a decent amount of charge,
Yeah.
right?
Whether you get that from people, from social dancing or teaching or...
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Or
another
just,
question.
you know, resting.
Segue.
Wait, let's you finish first.
Yeah,
Then we can
sorry.
go.
I was done with you though. My question was longer than your answer. No, your answer was longer than my
Zach's
question.
brain is rapid fire.
Yeah, but so basically what I ended up finding was a balance for myself where I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna make it a point to move around the floor and ask. And so I would ask beginners to dance, then I'd ask someone advanced, I'd ask somebody I don't know, followed up by somebody I know.
So you should recharge your battery that way, like...
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would balance out the dancers I was getting
Cool.
rather than get, a 2.5 hour streak of
Your work, like you feel like you're doing,
Yes.
it sounds bad, community service or
Yeah.
something, like working like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're consenting to this dance because
Yeah.
you are approaching the
You're,
person.
you're
instead
giving a
of-
dance
Exactly.
to make someone else feel happy instead of making yourself feel happy as well.
And actually, you don't realize it, I think, until you're in that position. But
Yeah.
actually, asking for a dance if it gives you, I guess, in a sense, it makes you feel good. Like for me,
It
if I
should.
ask, yeah,
It should.
if I ask for a beginner for a dance, right? They are grateful, they're appreciative. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you for asking, right?
Yeah.
And I feel good about that dance, even if they're new. But when it's just a queue of people expecting
Yeah.
to dance with you,
Yeah.
I don't feel good about any of it.
Yeah.
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 You
This
know-
is
you know
not
what I mean?
consensual.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like entitlement. Like if you feel
Yeah.
entitled, like you need to get danced with or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah, that's a great answer. Great answer.
What was your random?
segue?
So Maddie asked me a
Segue.
question recently. You are a judge, a competitor, a teacher, do you DJ? You dabble?
No, we had
Dabble.
performing.
Dabble.
I'm gonna. What do you do? Like, when you go to an event?
MC,
MC, judge,
compete,
Compete.
teach, perform.
Let's go with those
Social
three.
dance.
Oh, wait,
yes, like
social
those
dancing.
things, social dancing as well. If you were to rank these in like what you would what's your favorite to do to least favorite?
Social dancing is my number one for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Teaching
Yeah.
is number two.
Yep.
Performing, competing, judging.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
MCing would be last.
Oh, sorry, man.
MCing will slip
Now you
in
gotta
somewhere
redo
in
the
the
whole
middle
thing.
around here again.
Social dancing,
Social dancing.
teaching,
Teaching.
performing,
Performing.
competing, MCing, judging.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Whoa, cool.
Okay.
Yep.
So when I answered this, I had a different order because I split up like, I think maybe I might actually, like I resonate with what you just said with that whole feeling maybe obliged to work, I guess. Because
Yeah.
I want to please.
Because social
I
dancing
want,
can
I want to
feel
be
like work
hired
sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a part of me that's like the teacher and the worker and the do your jobs thing,
Yeah.
and the self, like working on myself, dancing, social dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love like even implementing what you just said with that other answer about filling your own cup and that battery. Then you always balancing it. You can find a more even split instead of like, okay, I have to switch between this one and this one.
Yeah.
It's like you are that one together. I think that's a good mental like shift that I could actually use myself. Realization.
We have some rapid fire questions I want to ask you, but I just have one last question before we do that.
I also have a question actually.
Two
So
last
you go.
questions
Two last
before
questions, and
advice.
then we've got.
Let's
into
do
our
it, guys.
wrap-up.
So can you think of one of your favorite or most memorable Champions Jack and Jill dances? Do you have like one that's just like burning in your memory?
This
That
was
was
the one.
amazing.
That
All
just-
right. Oh wait,
have
that
so
was
many.
amazing or memorable?
Oh, we could go either way.
Both.
We can go whichever way you want to go with that.
So the most memorable one, unfortunately, is not amazing.
That's usually the way, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll go with I'll
Emma
go with
walks
both.
around.
yeah,
I'll go
let's
with
do both.
So let's talk about the amazing one first.
Let's go.
So recently at TAP, I did a Champions Strictly, the DJ battle with Nicole Clonch,
Yes.
Nicole Ramirez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ramirez.
And oh, that like I was totally, that dance was like amazing. It was one of those dances where I think both of us like almost had this like we don't really know what's happening, but we're just gonna keep going
Yep.
with it.
Yep.
So like there was like everything like just sliding between my legs. Then there's one point where like I brought her around, I let her down and did a kick
Doesn't
over.
sound like Nicole
it's
at
very
all.
cool.
And then she was like, whoa, did you just kick over me? And then the next thing, when we ended the dance, I was like, oh, we're getting to the ending. Here's the phrase change. I was like spinning her towards the audience.
Yeah.
And I intended to dip.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So I was right in front of the audience and I was like, here's the dip. And then Nicole's legs,
Over the top, and the audience is like this.
yeah. and then like, to me, I was like, it's a dip. But for Nicole, she's like, aha, I
Acrobats.
can easily flip in this position. It was amazing. Like I
so
went
cool.
down for a dip, and then the next thing I knew, I'm like, why are
How?
her legs land
Legs?
next
Wait
way?
a
Oh my
second.
God.
Wait.
What's
But
happening?
she
Why
was
are they up there?
what?
We're gonna
Yeah.
link that in the show notes.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
that's-
So if someone wants to watch that, what do they need to look up? see the video
That's I
of
think
this?
the Champions Strictly DJ battle at TAP 2023.
Nice. All
Yeah,
right.
the after party.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it's just one of those dances where after that, like both of us are like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I love those.
We
moments.
peaked, I'm out.
That's so cool.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And then, but the most memorable one, like I said, the non-amazing one. I mean, okay,
Don't mention any names now that you said that.
no. I had the best possible draw. I cannot say that the follow is not amazing.
It was all your fault.
I was not amazing.
Yes, good job.
So this was 2017, right? And this was the year that Victoria Hank freshly crowned the US Open Classic
yeah.
champion, right?
Yeah, let's go.
So the first time she won Classic with Ben Morris, right?
Yep.
For her, and we were dancing in also the Champions Strictly at TAP. And actually no, this was not Champions Strictly. Sorry, it was Champions Jack and Jill.
Yep.
And so for me, this was the first time I made a Champions Jack and Jill finals,
Oh, sick.
Oh yeah.
right? So like I was like
On the
stoked,
yeah.
you know, and I love dancing
Oh
with
no,
Victoria.
I
and
feel bad for you already.
and I drew Victoria for the Champs Jack and Jill. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, yes. You know, I was like, yes, like my dream draw.
Nerves are fucking up to here.
And that year, right, we had a handicap card,
Oh, okay.
right? So the
is
pros
that?
had different handicap cards and they'd throw them out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you'd have to
yeah,
do
yeah.
whatever the handicap card said.
yep, yep,
okay,
yep.
right.
So just nice, the handicap card we got thrown was, oh, you have to dance some zouk during your dance.
Do either of you know Zouk?
I can fake it.
Yep.
So I was like, oh,
Okay.
this is great. I got this,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Salsa, but
we
the
started
opposite.
off, we did some stuff that
Yep.
looked quite zooky, and then we started dancing, and the dance was going great. Like honestly, up till the big phrase change, the dance
Oh
was going
no,
great.
not on the phrase change.
And then, on the big face change, I was like, all right, here it comes. I'm gonna do it. I have this move where, like I said, it's the same one that I did on Nicole, but Nicole got the modified version after I got PTSD after what happened next. Because I brought Victoria down, I was like, I got it, let me kick over. But Victoria's reflexes are so fast. She came down and her head went pop. Right? At the end, it's just coming up. I kicked her in the back of the head. And it looked terrible because what happened was I brought the leg up. I saw her head come up and I was like, I am not gonna make it. Oh no. My leg came down and I kind of started throwing my body the other direction at the same time.
Yeah.
So instead of me chopping her head off,
Yeah.
thank God I
Well,
didn't
that's
do
fortunate. Yeah.
I kind of, my leg bounced off and then I rolled on the floor.
Oh, nice.
Did you
Oh,
own the
amazing.
landing though?
Nice.
Was there a moment?
Kind of like it's in slow motion.
I
just
feel
like,
like I own the landing as best as you can.
given the
After
situation.
someone in the back of the
Yeah.
head.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So yeah, and that was I won't
That's
forget.
awesome.
You know, like
Yes.
like
Happens
since
to
I was
everyone.
novice. No, since I was novice, right? I've never sulked about a Jack and Jill. Whether it's the results, a dance, I've never like gone off and
Until that moment.
Yes.
Fuck
so this
you.
is the first time, right, that I was just
you.
like, I went off for an hour by myself and I'm like, don't talk to me. Nobody talk to me. Nobody even look at me.
Space. I need my space.
Oh no!
Oh, stressful. Yeah,
Oh, that's so good.
rough. Oh,
And then
good
he
job.
was put on
Good
hiatus
job.
from Champions Jack and Jill for a few years. Now he's
It
back.
happens to the best of us, guys.
Yeah.
Have your sulk and move the
We
fuck
all
on.
have
No,
the
I'm joking.
human
I'm
moment.
joking. I'm joking.
But like, look, you have to overcome it and move forward.
You
right?
do it, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
realized
Don't
the
let it
flaw
defeat you.
in the way I did the move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I succeeded on Nicole 6 years later.
Self-awareness.
I modified the move to ensure that there was no way for the forward to bring the head up on the timing and that my leg would clear.
Fantastic.
I also
Nice
went
work.
to do 4 years of Pilates so I was more flexible.
Oh, that's gold.
Fantastic. Awesome. I've got, one more question. We'll go into this rapid fire real soon. I'm curious to hear what your opinion or just like your guys' mindset on like maybe specific dances. Well, non-specific. How much value would you put on maybe moving through the ranks? Say maybe like an advanced dancer that would like want to be an all-star, maybe even almost got there. Do you think this is like
And that was
important to
rejected.
like your
You mean an all-star that
dancing?
got demoted
So-
back to advance?
Yeah.
Maybe.
What was your question, sorry?
How much value do you think people should actually be putting through, like onto like moving through the levels? Because I guess that is something that happened
Yeah.
of like my petition, which we've kind of talked about a couple times. That was like revoked, which was rough.
I
but it's
agree.
Fine. I'm like I'm so
We're totally
I'm at
fine
peace.
with it.
I'm so at peace.
I don't think you are.
Keep bringing it up. I know. How much
He said
value do you
peace, but I'm
think?
going to talk about
Yeah,
it
let
again.
me just make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, how much value do you think people should be putting on like their like level status, like comp wise? Because do you think that actually has merit in terms of like higher ability or like going through? Because ideally, I'd want to travel more. But like even at this event, I'm like the only advanced staff member,
Yeah.
which is fine. That's like so chill. But is that like something that I should be aware of or like putting value onto?
So, I mean, like, I think, like, okay, so personally for myself, I think the important thing is, like, that people don't have played, like, your level shouldn't affect your own personal value, how you feel about yourself.
Amen.
Right, so I think that's the important line to draw. Like, if I'm going to talk about value, I'm going to talk about value externally.
Yes.
Right? Like, I definitely don't think as dancers we should be like, oh, I'm not an all-star, and then that affects how you feel about your own dancing.
Yeah.
Or intermediate or any
Yeah,
level.
or any level.
Yeah.
Right? Because I do feel like there's a lot of dancers who are amazing social dancers, but maybe it's just not their interest, or maybe they, their personality isn't that type.
You could be a beginner forever
Yeah.
and still have a great time.
Yeah, and some dancers who are not very high up in terms of the competition level are really amazing to dance with.
Yeah.
Right. But in terms of hireability, unfortunately, your level does affect you. Not so much that. So it's not about. I think West Coast Swing organizers are actually very, very. I feel like I'm trash talking other dancers.
I feel like you're
from your own experience.
You're dancing around the line.
So I think West Coast Swing organizers are very alert, very aware, right? Or very woke. I think West Coast Swing organizers are very, very woke compared to a lot of other dance forms.
Yeah.
In a lot of other dance forms, they really just look at like competition results,
Yeah.
like how good is your show, your routine. In West Coast Swing, right, organizers actually look at the strengths of a couple, right? Because if not, I would never get hired in Europe.
It's more
be
than
real.
just a couple
Yeah.
though.
No, like let's be real, because in Europe, for them to cover my flights for a European event,
It's a
where they
big
have so many
investment.
European pros who
Yeah.
just a domestic flight away,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but when you look at hireability, unfortunately, what happens is events always need their staff to judge,
Yeah.
and if you're an advanced, you can't judge advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of end up with this situation where, the smaller events that might be more likely to hire you almost cannot hire you because they need a minimum number of staff
Yeah.
to be able to judge their open strictly. to be able to judge their advanced divisions. And if you're advanced yourself, you can't be judging it.
1 second on that, pause. So if you do a, like, let's say a Chuck Brown judging course or I'm sure there's other people, Robert Wilson, like the people that have been around for a while, right?
Yeah.
That have run judging courses. Chuck isn't the only one, but if you're qualified, you can be qualified judge now.
Does that override?
If you've done that as an advanced dancer, I'm pretty sure you could probably clarify this.
So no, you can. There's no real like rule that you have to be in a higher division.
Yeah.
But the issue is, in your case, you're still an active competitor.
Yes.
Yeah, and you want to, if you want to build
So-
the level.
That's it, yeah.
No, it's not about building the level. It's more like if you're an active competitor, the optics are really bad. For an active competitor to be judging people
Pulled
that they
out.
are competing with.
Competing
Yeah.
with.
And it's
Does that
also
make
not
sense?
in your
Yeah, yeah.
best interest
Yeah.
because you obviously want
Exactly.
to compete and get the points. So
Yeah,
why
it's
would
not
you
just
do
for
that?
Yeah.
It's different
Yeah,
if he's reached that point in his career where he's like, I'm retiring,
Yeah.
right? And then that's when you're like, you're like, I used to be in advanced, blah blah blah, but I've got a lot of years of experience, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
your knowledge, your eyes, your ability to see what's happening is really good.
Gotcha.
Right? This is very different. He's still an active competitor.
building himself
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
always. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like it. That makes sense. Yeah. So there's always something that you look for to be hired, like certain things, more than just being a highest level. It's like social dancing, judging, DJing, MCing, freaking, just being a likable person. Do you know what I mean? Which you are definitely not. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
None of those
It's like never. I'm often told out.
Oh shit, we give each other some shit. But okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
No,
that's-
cool. No,
good
I love
question.
that. I love that. So interesting. Thank you so much for that. I was like, it was on the main. It was on the brain. I wanted to like get that out. But we've
Anything
got
else?
one final thing to do. Zach, do you have a?
I've got a timer here.
Timer?
I was
So,
gonna say I've got-
I'm
you
going
got
to
that?
time you.
This sounds pressurizing.
Oh,
Absolutely.
let's go.
So
This is
we're going to do
exciting.
this with everyone, right? So
Do you want me to
I'm
ask
going to
them?
give
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You got
I'm not going to give you a minute. I'm going to time you how long it takes you to answer these questions.
The quicker, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do up like a score sheet. We'll
the
see
Yeah.
who wins by the end of the
There's
year.
going to be
Okay.
a tally board for whoever we
And if you
interview on this.
pass, you lose like a certain amount of seconds,
Wait,
or you gain a certain amount of seconds.
Don't overcomplicate it.
No.
Just have
We'll
time.
decide
We'll
that
time
later.
it. We'll just
Okay,
time it.
so what's going to happen, I'm going to give you two options, so A or B, and you've got
Okay.
to give me which one is your preference.
This
There
is
will-
amazing. So Emma's just in the background walking by with a cowgirl hat on and just like a swing station shirt on, represent. And she's like with her suitcase, she's like, as Emma does. I love it. And we are also at an event, so they're packing up, so we're going to get out of here soon.
Yeah.
So
We've been getting the
So I'm
time
going to
is
give you
gone.
option A or B. Sometimes the context won't even be there. You've just got to pick one and say it.
All right.
All right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
3, 2,
We shouldn't
1.
even ask yet.
Wait, no, I'm
He's
counting
counting
in for the start button.
You're counting
Please
the
time
time she takes to ask me the question?
Oh, you want me to start after the questions?
What if she speaks slower?
She's not going to.
I'm not going to do that to you. We're going to keep
Mackenzie does that.
I'm on it.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's only
yeah,
I'll
fair
start
that
after
time
Maddie
you-
answers the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Fast or slow floor?
Fast.
J&J or Strictly?
J&J.
Salsa or West Coast Swing?
West Coast Swing.
Lead or follow?
Lead.
Asia Open or Spooky Westy Weekend?
Asia Open.
Fast or slow songs?
Slow.
Blues or contemporary?
Contemporary.
Suede or resin?
Resin.
Cuban heel or street shoe?
Street.
Casual or formal dress up?
Casual.
Okay. America or Europe?
Europe.
Favorite follow excluding your wife?
Come on, bruh.
The clock is ticking.
Alistair Glenville.
There we go.
Hey.
Fast or slow blues?
Slow.
Brad Whelan or Chuck Brown?
Chuck Brown.
Zach McKenzie or Maddie?
Maddie.
Yes!
What the hell? We knew every time it's going to be Maddie, I'm
Awesome.
sure.
Yeah. We
Wow.
thought you were going to say
Every
Maddie.
gentleman.
I love
end,
that.
which
You
Hallie
were
Lee
doing
scores.
so quick. You were so on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
feel
that
like-
question in the middle.
Awesome.
I feel like I
There's
had
a
to,
stumper right there. A stumper.
I feel like I had to ask you quicker. You were so quick.
Yeah,
I
I
was
like
like,
it.
damn, what was
I was like, the moment you told me there's a time, this is a competition.
Yeah. I want to win.
It
We're
is.
gonna have to come up
There's-
with more
There's
questions.
going to be a leaderboard. For
That was
this.
good. That was
no.
really good. So you
Yeah.
did that
Nice
in
work.
46 seconds
That's
and
impressive.
95. Wait, 46 seconds and 97 milliseconds.
Nice.
We won't count
49
the
job.
seconds. 46 seconds.
Oh,
Nice.
really, really
How
solid.
much time did I lose on that?
He's just thinking
Yeah.
about how much time I'm going to lose
I
on
like
this.
that.
What do I win? What do I
Favorite
lose?
follow besides my, I'm like, freaking hell, this
Dude, you've been
I love that.
awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Really,
We hope
really
you
appreciate
enjoyed the
it.
time with us, man. We really
are
appreciate
very
it.
excited to see you in Asia Open.
Yes, if you want to
Thank
see
you.
this guy
Oh,
anywhere,
thank you.
Asia Open, Spooky Westy Weekend, runs classes at Ziggy Feet, IG, Facebook. You can find him all over the world, right?
Do you want to just plug the dates for Asia Open and Westy Spooky Weekend?
Do you want to give anyone a free
I don't
pass?
actually remember off the top of my head.
Do you want to give anyone a free discount thingy?
Yeah,
We
501
sold out
attendees.
this year.
Asia
so-
Open.
Maybe
It's not
next
enough.
year, you know, if you want to. I should have asked you. I should have asked you earlier. Damn it. That should have been in the rapid fire questions.
Yeah. Can we have a free pass?
It's been awesome, Z. It's been great spending time with you this weekend. So
We
really
hope you
appreciate it.
guys grabbed a lot of value out of that. I know we did. Share, like, subscribe. If you know you got something out of this, share it with someone else. We know Z's going to go out and give us a review right after he gets off of this and give us a 5-star. But yeah, that was sick.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Bye.